Well, I got it home today. 1964 Midway Basketball. Took the dome off in a few bits, the baskets and backboards just for transporting. All this has to come off to get either polished or re-chromed. Probably re-chromed. Yeah, so some lights back there. These, from the pictures I could find, were the original hold downs, and they look to be those they'd use them to mount mirrors in like the 60s and 70s, those horrible little plastic looking things. So it shouldn't be too hard to find something to replace that with. Scoreboard's in fairly good condition. There's some flaking there. Oh, that's actually a little worse than I realized. That's going to be one of the last bits. I might see if, I doubt I'd find a replacement, but I do have a buddy who's getting an, a UV printer, and it can print on glass and anything. So I'd use a different piece of glass and I'd keep this one, but I think he'd be able to make that for me. To find a local print shop or possibly just Vista Print to make new stickers. Playfield is going to get stripped and cleaned. I might even see if I can dye it because it clearly was a very different color at one time. Coin mechanism is missing a little bezel around it. These can also be done with that UV printer. All the buttons are, they used to be this color. Been worn down, but I have done a fair bit of nickel plating in the garage here before, and it's really simple to do. I still have the acids around that I made in order to do nickel plating at home. So, oh, this thing is heavy. All right. I did not build this stuff light. So there's just all those switches up in there. So it looks like internally it doesn't appear to be missing anything. Kind of curious why it says number 1087. If it was on pin side, it said there was 133 made, but they could have just continued serial numbers on from other machines. Midway did make a lot of different ones. Yeah, so red in the shadows. So the timer motor, game on relay, play again relay, these are all going to need to be at the very least cleaned, if not rewound. The guy I bought it off of said that in order to get the game to start, it's not really working 100%. The seller said to get it to work, it'll only work on one player right now. It starts off almost mid-game, from what he was saying, and you have to click this to get it to the end of the game, and then you press one of the side buttons, and then he says it will play, but only against, like, only one player. So it's not two-player working right now. So, but it is some old relays, so I'm not surprised. A couple things I noticed when I was loading it. So if you can see here, so that's gotten badly damaged. So the top is going to come off eventually. First I'm getting the thing working. I'm going to get it working 100%, go through the electrical, then clean everything. A lot of the times with restoration, half of what you're doing is just cleaning. A lot of the stuff is reusable. Now those coils you spray out with an electronics cleaner. Yeah, there's some more that I'm going to have to nickel plate, but again, these were disposable games. These weren't ever intended to last 50, 60 years. When they were building them, they built them with cheap wood, cheap nickel-plated parts. You know, they weren't going for high-end chroming. Like I said, I mean, these are little clamps for mirrors. You'll find stuff from around the house in these machines. I've also got a J-copter machine. Doesn't need a ton of work, but it does need some. And Same thing. There's the motor in the helicopter is from, believe it was a 50s Ford blower motor, just from your heater. So we got some splitting here, just where the two pieces of plywood are coming apart. So that eventually is going to get filled with some resin, clamped, and probably a couple screws in there, filler on the outside, and then sanded down nice and flush for a new coat of paint. There is no saving this. I like keeping machines original, things original, even cars, but there comes a point where there is no reason to keep it original. I mean, the cigarette burns in this thing, I mean, it's a sign of the times, but this is not something you want sitting in your living room with cigarette burns on it. This is cracked as well, so. Oh, there's woodwork, painting, electrical. Underside is going to get painted too. I'm going to re-chrome the legs. I may just paint the legs because that's a decent amount of nickel plating to do. Sorry, I keep calling it chroming. It's not chroming, it's nickel plating. So, another one is I have to make a new coin door, and I'm going to copy the graphics off of there so I can re-stencil this, make it look original. Keep watching, lots of work to come.